But now here we are, 16 months into the most catastrophic health disaster of our lifetime, and we still have more questions than answers.
In 2019, the first case of COVID-19 was reported in China, causing global panic. Since then, countries developed federal policies affecting people's daily lives, including mask mandates, COVID-19 testing, and quarantine. Today in the United States of America, to enter the country, a COVID-19 test is required. The test can either be rapid, which is 72% accurate, or PCR, which is 96% accurate. However, if you are a part of the cabin crew, military, United States government personnel, or a child under 2, a test is not required. For domestic travel inside the United States, a test is not required. During your flight and in the airport, a mask is required. However, it is not strictly monitored, nor are you strictly punished if you are caught with your mask off. Once you have arrived in the United States, no quarantine is required and you are allowed to go on with your daily life.
It's so important we all get vaccinated. Now, I understand that some Americans with experiences and backgrounds similar to my own are hesitant to get the vaccine. So I wanted to jump on this opportunity to get a positive message out to them.
America's policy for COVID has been ineffective and disorganized. The federal government cannot coordinate and has not been able to coordinate with most of the states. State policies have been going counter to the federal policies. The overall direction has been disorganized and really weak. So instead of handling this as a true national emergency, the federal government and the states have not worked together to solve the problem. Therefore, the problem continues to exist and will exist in the future. The main problem over here is that when you have a free society, it's difficult for the federal government to clamp down on the states and or some of the states to work effectively with the federal government to solve the problem. Because at times the needs of the one outweigh the needs of the many or the few.
Here we have China mandating school cleaning protocols due to COVID-19. After COVID outbreak in 2019, China established a new national interest law. If someone violated any COVID protocols in public area or threatened people's safety during the pandemic period, then he or she is violating the constitutional law and then can be imprisoned. Before entering China, you need a negative PCR and antibody blood test 40 hours before the flight in order to get a green health QR code. After arriving in China, you must do a remote video call for border health check and then do a face-to-face custom border check. Your health QR code will turn red after entering China. People are sent to random selected quarantine hotel for 14 days centralized quarantine. During the quarantine, we all do a PCR test and antibody blood test every 2 days and temperature measurement every morning and evening. Following the 14 days quarantine, there's a 7 days quarantine in the hotels near your house, and still PCR and COVID antibody tests every 2 days and the temperature measurement every morning and evening. And after the 7 days quarantine, there's another 7 days quarantine for stay house quarantine, and you all do temperature measurement every morning and evening, and PCR and antibody test on the last day after quarantine. After you finish all the 28 days quarantine, your QR code will turn green, and you are free to leave.
As for China, one never really knows what their overall effectiveness of their policy was, but when the central government in a totalitarian society can dictate to the provinces and the people what to do and what not to do, the people respond because there is no other choice. If they don't respond, they are in relocation camps or imprisoned. So with that in mind, if we take for face value what they did in China, their overall success for managing COVID was way better than the United States or other democratic countries.
No country's COVID-19 policy is perfect.
China excelled in forcing COVID-19 numbers to go down, and the United States excelled in allowing individuals to have a say in what they wanted to do during COVID-19. In an ideal world, we would merge both of the beliefs, allowing federal governments to impact their lives positively.
As of now, governments are proposing effective plans to combat COVID-19, as well as uphold the freedoms of the citizens. What their future entails, we'll find out.